We advise the opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Great day, ladies and gentlemen. Baka yung iba nagtataka, bakit ang inyong lingkod ngayon ang nag-i-intro? Ang ating pong kaibigan na si Harry ay may ginagawa at pagpasensyaan niyo muna ang inyong lingkod ngayong araw nito to discuss things about what is happening in politics. You know, mga kaibigan, sa mga nakaraang araw, pag nakita natin yung mga punto na kung saan may mga problema sa ating bayan at titignan natin ngayon yung mga problemang ito, ay maraming epekto na nangyayari sa ating lipunan. Since the start of the year, and even in the end of the year, nandun na po yung konsepto ng problema sa impeachment. And people are now tuned in and focused on the impeachment trial. Ngayon po, sa isang ordinaryong mamamayan, ay maraming nalilito kung ano yung may idudulot ng impeachment sa kanila. Meron nga doon yung isang nakausap natin na isang magbabalot, mga tindera, na tinatanong natin kung ano yung impeachment, yung iba po ay nalilito. At ano po ba yung mga epekto nito sa ating lipunan? Ang ating pong pag-uusapan ngayong araw na to is the impeachment effects or the impeachment effects. Sa nangyayaring impeachments po ay maraming mga epekto na nangyayari. Sunod-sunod na turn of events in politics, in the economy, and even in the judiciary. Maraming mga problema at mga phenomenon na dumarating sa ating bayan. Alam niyo po, sa nangyayaring ito sa ating bayan, ang mga Pilipino po na nakatutok dito sa Cora novelang ito, ay talagang yung iba ay nagmamasid, yung iba ay nag-aaral, at yung iba ay namamangha, at ang iba ay na-entertain, mga kaibigan. Sa puntong yan, kaya tinatagalog natin ngayon ang ating discussion ay sa maraming nanonood ng mga ordinaryong mamamayan. Tinatanong nila, ano po ba yung impeachment? Ano po ba yung epekto nito sa akin bilang isang Pilipino? Sa nangyayari sa impeachment ngayon, marami po mga epekto. Nandyan po yung, minsan, yung isang reliyon na yung pinakikwit yung isang defense attorney na kung saan miyembro ng isang reliyon at meron pang isang miyembro ng isang reliyon na isang executive sa isang agency na tinanggal. Maraming mga epekto po, mga kaibigan. Mga pagka-file ng mga disbarment case na nangyayari sa ating bayan. Ngayong araw na ito, ang in-invite po nating guest is an expert pertaining to evidences. Kasi po, ang nangyayari po sa konsepto ng impeachment, para nakita po natin nagiging trial by perception. As perceived, guilty or not guilty. The problem there is that evidences should be based on what? Should be based on objectivity and not perception and not subjectivity. Nangyari po sa ating bayan at mga mamamayan ngayon, yung iba po meron ng paghuhusga. At sabi nga ng iba yung ibang senator judge are somewhat clinging on or somewhat pumapabor sa isang partido. Ang problema po dito, these are all perceptions, ladies and gentlemen. Ang ating pong guest ay isang private practitioner, professor po ng abogasya, ng law, sa University of the East, dati pong professor sa UE at sa Polytechnic University of the Philippines. At siya rin po ay expert pertaining to what? Constitutional law, pertaining to labor law, and lahat na sigurong kaso nakuhakan niya. Kaya pag sa usapin ng ebidensya at pagbibigay ng substansya sa ebidensya ay may expertise po ang ating panauhin. At ang ating pong guest ay graduate ng University of the East College of Law. At sabi nga sa puntong yan, pagdating sa usapin ng wisdom sa law, siguro marami na pong kasong nakawakan ng ating guest. At sa punto ng mga rules of evidence and the rules of court, he has the expertise pertaining to this. So siguro po mga kaibigan, introduce natin ating guest. Ating pong guest ay si Attorney Fernando P. Perito. Magandang araw.
Magandang araw, Dr. Jan at Yopi. At saka sa mga manonood nyo sa station na to, good day.
Good day, good day. You know, Attorney, let's go first to the basics ng impeachment eh. Siguro let's start with the question na yung sa isang ordinaryong mamamayan, ano po ba yung impeachment? May Tagalog po bang equivalent ng impeachment?
Parang pananggal?
Palanggal.
Well, para sa ordinaryong mga mamamayan, ang paningin nila sa impeachment, hindi naman katulad nating mga pag-aral, masyado na kailangan tanggalin ang isang opisyal na mayroong mga kasalanan. So, basically, sa atin dito ang dumadaan sa impeachment yung mga constitutional officers, katulad ng presidente, COMELEC, officials, commissioners, COA, President and Vice President, as well as the members of the judiciary. Now, ito ngayong impeachment na is ongoing din sa Kongreso, sa Senado. Ang paningin ng tao ngayon, dahil sa mga sinasabi ng Kongreso, kung saan nag-umpisa yung impeachment, mayroon daw basihan sila na pwedeng may habla at saka magkaroon ng impeachment at matanggal eventually si Chief Justice Corona.
Ito yung sa impeachment po, may advantage, may disadvantage. Usually, pag pinatanggal mo yung isang impeachable officer, ito ay merong violation. Ano yung mga violation na...
Well, culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayal of trust, with abuse of discretion.
Ibig sabihin,
treason.
tinatanggal yung isang Chief Justice, Presidente, Vice Presidente, Ombudsman, at Constitutional Commissioners kung sila ay mga tiwali sa pamahalaan. So may mga kasong yan. Pag ito tiwali, tanggalin sa bayan para ngayon may epekto sa bayan, makabuti sa ating bayan. Puntahan natin ngayon yung impeachment ni Chief Justice Corona. At the start of the impeachment, I think siguro mga ilang minuto pa lang nun, the majority floor leaders stand on the floor and state your name about a certain petition. Senator Soto state that, Mr. President, we need to look at the pending petition of Attorney Fernando Perito on this impeachment. Ano ba itong petition na inano nyo?
Actually, Dr. John, it was not a petition. It was just a motion.
A motion. Okay.
A motion to cite the House prosecutors for contempt of court. Ang pinagbasehan ko po doon sa walang tigil nilang malita sa radio, sa dyaryo, sa television na sa mga ebidensya nila kunwari laban kay Justice Corona. Now, since I believe na mayroon ng abogado sila, abogado rin po ako. So, dapat kami mga abogado, alam namin ang batas na pag may korte na, tsaka doon ang kaso, igalang nyo na yung korte. Ang korte ang Senado na. Sa may rules 8 ng rules of impeachment sa Senado na bawal yan. So, I filed that motion to remind these House prosecutors. But then, it was denied because I had no standing. I had no personality. Well, I agree with them. But then, to think also that I am a Filipino. Involved din ako dyan kung ano mangyari sa judiciary. I'm a lawyer. How will I believe now that the lawyers or the judiciary will be a permanent institution which cannot be just easily pwede nalang banggain, i-discredit ng ganun. So, as a lawyer, I have an interest on that.
Pero you mentioned kunwaring ebidensya. Bakit kunwaring ebidensya?
Well, because I don't believe I never believed that there were concrete evidence by the House prosecutors against the Chief Justice. I never believed that there were valid and controverting evidence. They are actually, I think the best word is they were just coming out with so many charges, then eventually to fish for to resort to fishing expedition
or to fish for the resignation.
Yes, they were thinking na nagawa ni Ombudsman Gutierrez, baka ganito rin mangyari. Ito, lalaki ito, tsaka top-notch lawyer ito si Justice Corona. He will not back down.
Siguro sa puntong yan, sa konsepto ng ebidensya, will you consider, is it half-baked impeachment case or is it not really a baked, or you neither would not go within the basis of a half-baked impeachment complaint? Kasi sabi nyo, kunwaring ebidensya o walang ebidensya at all.
Sa tingin ko, as of now, walang basehan eh. Parang the prosecutors are just
Downstairs, what? Fishing or something? Or
I think they're making themselves first with their evidence.
okay, let's go to the first effect. Why is the prosecution afraid of Cuevas?
Well, because former Associate Justice Cuevas is one hell of a good lawyer and a very experienced member of the bar, and he's a well-respected jurist.
And based on that, being afraid of Cuevas, it comes out yung bagong issue ngayon that the INC, the Gatdula, and the Cuevas issue na para hindi na ipipin down si Gatdula, mag-resign lamang si Cuevas sa defense.
Yes, I think it came out this morning sa Inquirer na somebody, a former student of the Associate Justice Cuevas, lumapit daw, may pressure daw galing sa Malacanang for him to quit in exchange of probably exculpating NBI Director Gatdula, Tanggol. Pero kung totoo man yan, medyo foul ata yan. Natatakot sila dahil si Attorney Cuevas is the legal counsel of the Inc. And when we look at the Inc., it's a big institution, respectable institution, religious institution, as political as well.
Why Gatdula? Why pin down Gatdula in relation to the impeachment? Bakit ganun? Ba't si Gatdula among so many INC sa tingin niyo?
Kasi sa tingin ko ang mga INC straight mga tao to. Now, so far ang pinaka-importanteng Inc. ngayon na nasa gobyerno, si Gatdula. So let us give him a good example. Let us make him a good example. So eventually, apektado ang Inc. Because this guy, I believe, I know personally Gatdula, Tanggol, si ba schoolmate, state yan as a policeman, as a person, saka religious yan
I've learned na nag-file kayo ng disbarment case against De Lima.
Well, yeah, that's true. Nag-file kami ni attorney, na Fiscal Aliposa, not Aliposa, dating prosecutor ng Caloocan. We filed that case because we believe, as members of the bar, na a lawyer like Justice De Lima should observe the law. Under our legal ethics, dapat kami, where officers of the court were supposed to protect and defend the court as well as the magistrates. Ito, may order ang Supreme Court. Supreme Court ito, dinify niya just because, according to her, flight risk si GMA. But that's besides the point. There was already an order from the Supreme Court. She should have observed that. Pero nakita niyo naman kung anong ginawa niya. So kami, being members of the bar, kami si Attorney Aliposa, sabi nag-usap kami, ano ba ito? Tama pa ba ito? Sabi ni Attorney Aliposa, kung hindi tama ito dapat i-check natin to. If we can ventilate our reaction on this, let us try to file a disbarment case. But personally, I have a high regards on
on the disbarment case kay Secretary De Lima, yun lang bang sa TRO, sa Supreme Court, or part na rin yung case ni Gatdula?
No, it has something to do with the TRO.
The TRO.
Defiance. So, actually, honestly, isa ako sa humahanga kay Justice De Lima. But then, when you violate the law, when you violate the order of the court, what is our legal ethics for?
On the 100 witnesses na patatawag ng prosecution, kasi ang dami nilang witness. Unang tanong natin, yung 100 witness ba, nakakasindak ba to? Ano ba epekto nito sa impeachment?
When you demonstrate to the whole world that you have so many witnesses, that means you have a weak case. Kasi ibig sabihin, itong isang witness pwedeng pumalpak. So, kailangan kapalitan natin. Kailangan may pandagdag. Because according to Moniz Guerra, one of the defense counsels in the Corona case, kahit sa murder, even with one witness, you can already satisfy yourself for a conviction against the accused with one credible witness, even in rape. Pero if you have a battery of witnesses who don't even know what are they going to discuss or what are they going to defend if they have to be cross-examined, then I believe the prosecutors are just making fun of themselves.
Will De Lima be a credible witness? Because isa siya sa 100
Anyway, according to the Senate Court, they will be liberal.
They're Liberal Party members.
they will be liberal in so far as getting witness. Tulad kanina, sinabi ng Senate Court to Enrile na they will allow the presentation of the evidence from Article 2 to 1 or 3, skipping the previous order that it should be according to articles. So in other words,
Is it justifiable when you mix up the numbers of the articles of impeachment? Well, in fact, when you come up with the complaint itself, when you come up with the chronological order, it would be on the basis of how you would present it. Di ba dapat ganon?
Dapat nga yan. Ganon. Kaya nga may direct examination, may cross-examination.
Kasi wala silang evidence sa Article 1. Ganun ba yun?
Precisely. They are trying to make it a strong case since they were able to unearth allegedly the so-called alpha evidence, whatsoever. They came out with statements from Mahinares na they can make a big case out of this by coming up with the hundreds of witnesses. But then, as I said, those are evidence of weak cases.
So, based on that witnesses and based on the evidences, so the second articles of impeachment, non-disclosure of the SALN, bakit pati yung mga ITR nilalabas pa? Ang complaint lang naman is the non-disclosure.
Well, no less than the good Senator Santiago said na the issue here is the non-presentation of the SALN. The SALN was there. In other words, there is no need anymore to go on with these haranguing speeches on all of these presentations because you're just wasting the time of the Senate Court.
Hindi, sayang yung grand
Sayang. Para doon sa mga humahanga na mahabang mga ebidensya nila, medyo di ba able to convince. Pero sa mga katulad natin, at saka tayo, na ipinaliliwanag po natin sa mga tao, very risky yung ginawa nila.
Pero by now, marami nang naniniwala na convicted na si Corona.
No. On the other hand, marami nagdududa ngayon because more often than not, lumalabas na mga prosecutors ay unprepared and didn't know how to present the case.
Bakit nyo nasabi?
Well, if you're a good trial lawyer, ito you start with your evidence. Hindi mo dapat ikinakalat yan. Itinatago mo yan. Pangalawa, you should be ready. Once you go to court, you'll be ready with your witnesses, you'll be ready with your evidence, A, B, C, etc., etc. But kung naghahagilap pa doon, at saka you will even be asking now the Senate Court to be liberal, there is no such thing as being liberal in trial. You've got to follow, since that is a quasi-court, no? A quasi-judicial court. Then some rules in the rules of court should be followed. There's no such thing as liberality in the presentation of evidence. Liberality should only be made on the construction of laws, not on the presentation of evidence.
Okay, with that, matigil muna tayo. Ladies and gentlemen, we come up with the first part ng programa natin. Siguro mamaya we would continue with the discussions about the quasi-something. Yung mga Latin maxims na sinasabi. Alam niyo po, si Ordinaryong Mang de la Cruz, Juan de la Cruz, and even sila Manang Elsa. Minsan nalilito sa mga paktum-paktum na yan, mga usapin. Siguro we go with the quasi aspects and even the concept of the technicalities mamaya na papaliwanag ni, and even the effects, the different effects kana sabi nga natin kanina, even yung pala yung kaso kay Gatdula, isa to sa epekto rin ng impeachment. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, break po muna tayo. we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Kanina po na-discuss natin yung usapin ng mga ilan sa mga epekto. So, epekto dito sa kay De Lima, sa epekto sa judiciary, at epekto sa even sa ating bayan at sa lipunan. We end up with the word quasi something. Ang mga Pilipino po, minsan nanonood ngayon, nalilito na rin sa mga usapin ng mga teknikalidad, sa usapin ng legalidad dito sa impeachment. Kaya nga ito pa yung mga epekto na nangyayari. Yung mga bata nga ngayon, yung mga iba ay talagang may impeachment phenomena, na iba talagang pinag-uusapan. Ang tanong boring ba to o entertaining? Sabi nga sa inyo kanina, maraming mga nabobore, maraming mga na-entertain, maraming mga natututo. Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago stated that the impeachment court is a quasi-judicial and a quasi-political. So tanongin ko kayo kay Attorney, how do you explain that in layman's term, quasi-judicial and quasi-political?
When we talk of quasi, originally this comes from the word Latin word quasi, which means as if. Now, pag we have a good case, we have good cases before the courts, the ordinary courts, justice. We have the rules of court to follow. How to present evidence, how to defend, how to rebut, how to formally offer evidence, etc. So we strictly follow the rules of court. Now, pag sinabing quasi, since the Senate is not the real court as like the Supreme Court,
okay.
Then they have to follow. They have their own rules.
Okay.
But being a court, they copy or they apply rather some of those that are provided in the rules of court. Pero hindi sila lilihis doon.
Pero they need to follow still the rules of evidence pertaining to... Kasi if it is quasi-political, it just happened that it is quasi-political because the Senate is a political arena, a political organization.
Yes.
But when they come up with a decision in the legal point of view, when the judge would come up with a decision, they would base their decision based on the rules of evidence.
Yes, yes.
Paano ngayon yung mga senador? Yung iba dyan, di naman abogado.
Ayan nga. Yun na nga po, Doctor. Kasi pag sinabing quasi-judicial, the Senate now, it is not composed of lawyers. As I said, it is not a court per se na tulad ng mga RTC, Sandigan, or the Supreme Court. So, they just have to follow. But then, in the end, dahil hindi naman talagang strict judicial proceedings ito, the political aspect would come now through the duly elected senators. They can either disregard what they think are not appropriate, what they think are not relevant. So, in the end, the political jurisdiction of each senators would come out now. But then, hindi naman kahit paano, kahit although may sarili silang mga decision as politicians, pag-aaralan pa rin nila yung ebidensya na na-submit through quasi-judicial proceedings na ipresenta.
Pero it should be based on objectivity.
They should do that. Hindi yung basta-basta lang dahil member ako ng liberal, member ako ng nationalista. Hindi. Pero I believe na kahit na I would bet na kahit na yung mga foreign na liberals, they will still come with a judicious determination kung liable ba si Chief Justice o hindi.
I remember when Senator Gingon make the statement that the impeachment court is a different court. It is much higher than that of the Supreme Court pertaining to impeachment trial. And the Supreme Court could not do anything about the impeachment court.
Well, I beg to disagree. As an impeachment court, probably it is the only court that can control. But what if there would be irregularities already? Then I think the Supreme Court can still come into the picture.
How come the Supreme...
After all, who is the one only being, according to the administration, it's only the Chief Justice who is being tried here. So the other members of the judiciary will still come, will still function. So in the end, I believe that should there be irregularities, should there be... These things might be questioned still, might still be brought before the Supreme Court. There are
so many petitions for the TRO on this impeachment case. Ba't hindi pa nagpapatawag ng oral arguments kay Supreme Court dito? Dapat pinag-uusapan na yan,
Supposed to be. In fact, Attorney Adasan, Attorney Alan Paguio already filed. Attorney Vic Millora filed. But siguro out of respect at least the judiciary respects the Senate as well as Congress, the members of the House. So, because they can always come into a decision or resolution, but then they have to respect.
So,
yun ang tingin ko po.
So, for example, it comes out with the decision na ganito. Okay, they impeach Corona, and a plain Filipino citizen would question the ruling of the court. So, sabihin, there's something irregular on how they come up with the decision. Punta ako sa Supreme Court, pwede bang mangyari yun?
Diyan, medyo may borderline na yan. As I said, the Senate is the ultimate impeachment court. Their decision cannot be questioned unless probably it has to be tested by somebody na hindi tama yung decision or resolution. That will still be a test case. Pero para sa akin, I think the Senate is indeed the only venue who can decide on the merits of the case.
So, based on they say that the complaint per se had problems, and in the last hearing, there was even a proposal to amend the complaint or even revise. Pwede ba to?
Well, they were given a chance by the Senate to amend if they have really good case. But I think they said na hindi na daw kailangan.
Pero they would amend it. They need to go back to the House of Representatives
and have it verified, really making all of the 188 congressmen really basahin talaga nila. At saka they should understand what are in the petition. So it will be a long process again.
So I'm now looking at the effect of the different things. Kasi the tax, the SALN, the ITR, ang tanong, what would be the effect right now? Will it boomerang to the complainant? Kasi does it mean na pag yung ITR mo ba hindi nagja-jive sa SALN, corrupt na si Corona?
Well, para sa akin, we leave it to the Senate. We leave it to the Senate court. But then, questionable din yan. Para sa akin, questionable din yan. Dahil maraming mga nagdi-declare na may mga income pa aside from that. Probably they cannot easily come out on time or it is under negotiation, something like that. They still have to prove that. But we leave it to the Senate court to ponder on that, to determine.
Kasi they would like to prove the issue of the ill-gotten wealth. Well, in fact, the Senate made the ruling that we could not tackle the issue of the ill-gotten wealth because that's not a part of the complaint, di ba?
And the Article 2.4 something na it was scrapped already.
In-scrap na eh. Bakit tinutuloy pa rin yung usapang ganon?
No, kasi ang ginawa ng prosecution, yung by hook or by crook, nilink nila. Pero I think many of the senators there had already made up their mind that should not have been included. So parang palamuti na lang siguro yan, pabayaan na lang natin yan. But I believe in the end, the senators are intelligent members of the legislature. So I think they will see the futility of what the prosecutors are trying to prove.
Now, you go to the quasi-judicial and the quasi-political. In the Supreme Court, when the justices would come up with a decision, pag sila nag-render ng decision, the opinions would be written. Why they voted yes or ano. Dito ba sa Senado, kailangan sabihin ito since they are an impeachment court o tataas lang ni kamay?
Well, according to them, it's only by raising their hands.
Anong basis na yun?
Personal. Yun ang pananaw ko eh. Maybe, I think they will come out into a written conclusion.
That would now be the danger in this impeachment process. Kasi the rule of law must be followed. But the problem right now, based on the perception aspects, kasi look, sinabi mo, nilalabas sa media. Kasi if it is a media publicity perception, it's more of a trial by perception and publicity. Na kung saan hindi mo dinadala sa korte yung usapin, dinadala mo sa media, yung mind setting ng tao, kinukondisyon mo. And the senators itself might come up with a decision based on perception. So, ang naglalaban ngayon, if it is rule of law and rule of politics, yung perception, that would be injustice on the part ng ano.
Well, that would happen, but then as I said, being a quasi-judicial body now, that tries the case of the Chief Justice, I think by the pouring in of so many evidences, I think the senators are also intelligent enough will eventually come into a good conclusion, probably an objective conclusion on what they would do. But I think, as I said, dahil political nga, they will come out with some political
Decisions.
So we're just hoping that they would actually go over the evidence. I believe na it would not, although evident doon ang medyo party lines, but then there would still be some.
Okay, you mentioned about liberalization of the proceedings. The impeachment process and legal concept of discussions and argument should be based on the rule of law, which means that we need to follow legal technicalities and the rules of evidence. Pwede ka bang maging liberal sa isang court?
I told you na when you present your evidence, there should be the liberality. It should be according to the rules. You've got to present your evidence, your proof, your whether it's testimonial or documentary. Hindi ka makakapaghingi sa korte na pwede bang maging mabait po kayo sa amin para maisingit namin ito. Hindi po ganun. Kahit na kwasay yan, i-present nyo kung nandyan, kung meron kayo. That's why, lumabas na naman, every day, dinilecturean sila na you're coming here unprepared. So tama yung, kaya ako nag-file ng motion to cite them for contempt of court na parang gusto nilang lumabas na mga sikat sila, mga kilala sila, na magagaling sila, based on evidence by the media. Pero actually, sa actual, sabi ko, natatawa nga, natatawa ko sa the way they present themselves as prosecutors. Pero kung, with due respect, kung si Attorney Pariñas ang pumasok doon, ay naku, napakagaling ni Rudy.
I remember when Senator Miriam asked about how many witnesses you would have kay Representative Tupas. I would ask the private prosecutor.
Dapat sila. Siya ang lead counsel. Tsaka silang prosecutor. Because the private prosecutors are under the control and supervision and authority of the public prosecutor.
Hindi mo ba medyo nakakatawang tignan na kailangan pang mag-hire ng private prosecutor when in fact we have good lawyers and prosecutors?
Precisely. Yun nga nakakatawa na bakit kumukuha pa sila ng private prosecutors samantala they themselves are lawyers.
Sino nagbabayad nun? Taong bayan?
Well, tanungin na lang natin sa kanila. Pero ang alam ko dyan, these private lawyers are also, they're good lawyers also.
Ang nakakatakot dito yung epekto na nangyayari sa ating bayan. The SALN, the income tax, they would be transparent pertaining to this. Dapat yung mga congressman, labas din nila yung SALN nila, labas din nila yung ITR nila, and that would now be the Caterpillar effect. Now, sa punto ng epekto ngayon sa trial na to, ano nakikita ngayon, perception ng mga tao na si Corona ay may ill-gotten wealth. Nandiyan na yung is it really justifiable even to look at the income tax return ng mga kapamilya ni Corona?
Dapat nga, hindi dapat isama yun. Dahil hindi naman ang asawa o kaya mga son-in-law, mga daughters on trial it's only Justice Corona. So, dapat hindi na sinama yan. Pero anyway, sabi pa nga ni Miriam, why hide? Okay, labasin na lang kung gusto nyo. But then, kung yun ngayon ang perception ng tao, ng Pilipino ngayon ay may ill-gotten wealth o kaya may hidden wealth si undeclared income si Chief Justice Corona, side pa lang ng prosecution yun. What if the defense now will come into a very good strong evidence na magsisway na naman ng isip ng tao, nga pala, nambubola lang pala yung prosecutor, ganito, ganyan. Ito pala, kaya palang ganito, ganyan.
Okay, attorney. Yung epekto, halimbawa naman, itong sa constitutional effects, Article 8, Section 8. Na-impeach mo ngayon yung Chief Justice. And for you to nominate the Chief Justice, tawag ito, kailangan ng ex officio chairman would be the Chief Justice itself. Ma-impeach siya, sino would head the Judicial Council?
Nakalagay nga po dyan sa Constitution na it should be, sa JBC, it's headed by an ex officio chairman, the Chief Justice.
Yeah.
Now, halimbawa, tinanggal nyo si Chief Justice, sino ipapalit nyo? Wala namang deputy, wala namang assistant.
Walang rule of succession.
It is very clear in the
Constitution.
News of written article of my good friend Cecil Arillo na wala, useless yung mayroon pa kayong plano na with a list na in the event that Justice Corona is ousted, you will have to replace them by your shortlist. Hindi pwedeng mangyari yan.
The trending that we have right now, everything's to be railroaded. Yung impeachment na railroad eh. They could come up with another legal railroading about this. But still, somebody would need to question it. Parang ito, you are questioning about the process of impeachment. Hindi pinirmahan ng notaryo, hindi nabasa, still pumasok pa rin eh. So
because of the liberality of the rules of impeachment of the Senate.
Or the politicking of the legality. The political rule is more above than the legal rule. Ganun nangyayari.
It's coming out like that.
Sa nangyayari sa kasalukuyan. So sa puntong yan, ang scenario ngayon is that will a constitutional crisis happen if Justice Corona would be...
I'm sure on that. I'm sure on that there will be a constitutional crisis. Because we lawyers are also talking to each other. We are already prepared on what to do. Kasi nangyari yun. Na any member of the judiciary can just be brought and be held to court and then questioned on their private lives, on their incomes, and even their doctorates or whatnot. Then, kawawa naman yung judiciary. The judiciary is supposed to be an institution which should be respected by the other institution, the legislative and the executive. It would be like, pag nangyari yan, it would be just like, yung bang sinabi, here is the Pope, which who governs the around 600 million Catholics throughout the world. Now here is a member of the cult. Palagay natin kung kaninong cult yan. Question ang Pope. Now anybody can just question the papacy of the the guy in Vatican. So anybody here can just attack the judiciary, but the judiciary cannot hit back the member of the legislative because it doesn't have the weapon. It has only to defend, no? Kagaya sinabi. So kawawa naman. So I think pag mangyari yan, may constitutional crisis tayo. I believe there will be a constitutional crisis.
If there will be a constitutional crisis, the only resolution is a revolutionary government.
Wag naman. We should still respect the civilian supremacy. Yeah, it's more on arguments. Because ako personally, I believe na si Kwan naman, itong presidente natin, medyo he's doing his best. Kaya lang, kinu-question lang natin dito yung
He's doing his best, ba't nangyayari
sa nga lang, the hastiness, tulad ng hastiness kay Gatdula. Hastiness dito sa kay Gloria.
Would you think if fire out niya si De Lima would help the presidency? Kung tatanggalin niya, you file a disbarment against De Lima.
Well, if De Lima will be disbarred, I think matatanggal din siya pagka-Secretary of Justice because you have to be a lawyer there. So I think...
Kasi mabuti ang Pangulo, may mga tao sa paligid na nagpapasama sa
yeah,
Pangulo.
the President has good intentions. But the trouble is, you have some of those people around na medyo mas marunong pa sa Presidente. But, ako, honestly, I worked for him. I worked with his father when I was still young, Ninoy. And then we worked so hard to the restoration of the democracy through 1986 revolution. I was a member of the
Attorney, we're now at the end of our program. What is your message to our viewers?
Well, good day po sa inyo lahat. Ang gusto ko lang po yung huwag kayong maniniwala sa lahat ng mga ebidensya unless nadinig nyo po yung katapusan, yung depensa, tapos saka na kayo mag-evaluate kung talagang may kasalanan si Justice Corona o naman ang i-impeach po sa kanya dahilan lang siguro dahil may Hacienda Loisita na kaso o kaya there is a need to really change the members of the judiciary because some of them might be, gaya ng accusation, they were not doing right. So, ang sa akin po, mag-intay na lang po kayo. Pero mas maganda daw manood kayo, makinig kayo. Pero huwag kayong mahusga, huwag kayong maniniwala dahil sa dami ng witnesses, tama na yun, mananalo na sila, hindi po ganun.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Alam niyo po mga kaibigan, sa epekto na nangyayari sa ating impeachment, napakarami po mga opinyon, kuro-kuro, haka-haka sa ating bayan. Ano bang epekto nito sa ating lipunan? Sabi nga nung nag-meeting yung CBCP, they did not discuss the impeachment, pero ito lang ang sabi ng CBCP. Tugunan naman ng mga dapat na batas sa problema ng ating bayan. Problema sa kahirapan, problema ng sendong, problema ng lipunan. Mga Pilipinong walang trabaho. Nalilibang tayo masyado dito sa corona phenomena na ito. So sa puntong ito, pag ating nakalimutan na, ang mga senador na to at mga mambabatas, ang kanilang adikain to represent the people so that the people would be what? to uplift their lives. Make laws for the benefit of the people. Eh, ang problema po, nawawala na po ang ganitong epekto. Nawawala na po ang ganitong adikain ng ating mga mambabatas. Nauuna ang politika, interes ng sarili, sa interes ng karamihan. You are the representative of the people. Represent their needs. Legislate for their needs, ladies and gentlemen. Kaya nga po, sana be objective, sabi nga ni attorney. Do not believe in all things na sinasabi. Maging mapanuri, maging mapag-analisa. Tignan natin pag-aralan ng lahat ng bagay. Kasi sa huli po, ang magiging talo po lamang, the biggest loser is the Filipino people. If we would not think of what is true and what is wrong. Be objective. With that, ladies and gentlemen, magandang araw sa inyong lahat.